Yes, ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages, it's that time once again. It's Mild's Culture Plate, 6 p.m. Central Time. It is Sunday, October 1st, 2023. Sorry that I didn't do a show yesterday. I had to move it. I had a little family obligation. But I did give the update as I always do, or I always try to do, on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Down in the description of this video, you can find links to all three of those so that you can stay up to date if I ever have to move the show again. If you can, take just a minute and click that like and follow button. It definitely helps with the algorithm, and definitely share this off platform if you know somebody who would like this show. We have an interesting show for you today. Over the past 4 days, the Rekieta Law channel has been sort of ground zero for some internet drama. And I'm not going to get very deep into that internet drama or take sides or call anybody out. But there are some interesting narratives that formed around the drama that I kind of want to address. And I want to kind of address the idea of internet drama as a whole, and people who start shit on the internet. And I guess I said I wasn't taking sides. There's going to kind of be some side taking in the narrative analysis, but I want to be clear. I don't think anybody's right. I don't think anybody's wrong. There are definitely right things and wrong things that happened during this whole debacle, but I don't think anyone's hands are fucking clean in this. I really don't. And that includes, Nick Rekieta himself, who a lot of people would think, claim he stayed neutral and really didn't do anything until he was attacked and then replied. Well, I'm not getting into a lot of that. I just personally think nobody's hands were completely clean. So nobody right, nobody wrong. I'm not taking sides in it. Just a quick recap. I've recapped this before on my show, but a quick recap. Eric July, aka Young Rippa, put out some comic books as a competition to Marvel and DC. Vito Gesualdi had been critical of just the notion of creating indie comics, and critical of Eric July for the way he promoted it and his audience for seeming gullible, etc. At some point, Nina Infinity had made a comment. Dick Masterson on Rekieta's show chimed in and really went in kind of hard on Eric July. I guess that started some bickering between the two of them. It's now degenerated into people showing up at the business and then comments being made about legal whatever, and then Nick Rekieta has entered the fray, and now the feud has gotten spicy and dumb and degenerate, and it has degenerated down to the point where the last 2 shows Nick Rekieta did were several hour cope streams. Just kind of, one with Eric July in a cope argument with Nick, and then the other one with Nick kind of lashing back at him. And again, I'm not trying to get into all that. I'm not trying to necessarily cover that or give my opinion on all that, because I frankly, I find it all dumb. I find internet drama in particular dumb. When there were a lot of people on Kiwi Farms attacking Nick Rekieta, I found it dumb. But that was the history. That's kind of the backstory and where we are now with the situation. And Nick Rekieta has now removed his Friday stream from the internet, and there were some kind of half public apologies and an agree for Eric July and Nick Rekieta to talk behind the scenes and try to hash this out like adult men. So, let's hope on hope's sake that that beef is going to get squashed. And again, I'm bringing this up now because I don't want to talk about it. I'm actually gonna pause this topic and talk about it sort of more toward the end of the show, because I have some ranty things, and I just want to make sure I have time to get the other stuff in before I get too long-winded. We have a lot of news stories today, most of them concerning Congress. So if you're interested in things that are going on a congressional level, we definitely have some interesting news for you today. And yeah, here I am saying a bunch of times. I'm totally professional, folks. Present, share screen. Okay, so if you aren't aware, a few days ago, Senator Dianne Feinstein finally passed away at age 90. She could no longer control her own estate. That she was given a power of attorney to her daughter about a month and a half ago. But yet she's still competent enough to cast votes in the Congress, and there was a Senate vote. Literally the day she died, she cast a vote. Folks, yeah, these geriatric, diaper-wearing, old-ass senators, it's time for term limits, people. But anyway, she passed away. And today I ran across a news article on Fox that pretty much, can we just take the corpse and prop the corpse up in the chair in Congress and have them casting the votes? Because this news article on Fox about replacement, and you know what? I forgot to do something. I usually begin every show by showing off my whiskey, drinking Yellowstone again. Hunsinger UK in the chat has said hello. Sorry. Forgot to check the chat. Anyway, cheers, brother. Welcome. And if you'd like a toast, come into the chat and say hello during one of my live streams. Yeah, Hunsinger UK says age, competency, and health limits at the least. But anyway, so we got this vacant seat. What's going to happen to the vacant seat? Well, Governor Gavin Newsom gets to pretty much decide what's going to happen to the seat. And we have some rumblings going on in the state of California as to what should happen to the seat. And let me tell you, it's fucking horrors beyond my imagination. Like I said, I think we should just prop the corpse up and leave her in there till the end of term. But no, we have this news story from Fox. Oprah Winfrey and Meghan Markle reportedly floated as potential replacements for Dianne Feinstein. Oprah Winfrey and Meghan Markle are reportedly among those being considered to replace Senator Dianne Feinstein of California. Winfrey's name is among those being floated for the role, according to Newsmax and the Desert Sun, but the successful TV host turned billionaire book publisher and entrepreneur indicated as recently in May that she is not considering the seat should it become vacant, according to the LA Times. So you got conservatives saying she is, and then Democrat, and then left-wing LA Times saying she's not. So, take that for what you will. It was announced Friday that Feinstein died at age 90. All eyes have since turned to Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom, who will appoint someone to serve out the remaining 13 months of her term. The two-term governor, who attended the second GOP debate in Simi Valley last week on behalf of President Biden's re-election campaign, to lead counter-Republican messaging, has stated in the past he will appoint a black woman to the Senate in the event of Feinstein's passing. Newsom reportedly has national ambitions of his own amid rumors of a 2028 presidential bid. As recently as earlier last week, Newsom insisted he would not challenge Biden in 2024. Meanwhile, sources told the Daily Mail that the Duchess of Sussex name has also been thrown in the ring as Feinstein's potential replacement. She and Prince Harry reside in Montecito, California. Meghan's definitely a long shot, but in the craziness that's U.S. politics these days, it's not an impossibility. Crazier things have happened, a Democrat donor told the Mail. Markle's name was reportedly considered for the U.S. Senate before the 2020 election when Biden chose Kamala as his running mate. At that time, a senior Labor Party source told the Mail that Markle had been networking among senior Democrats on the venture of building a grassroots campaign, eventually targeting a presidential bid of her own. Markle has grown a close friendship with Gloria Steinem. A friend of Steinem's told the Mail Gloria has been introducing Meghan to pivotal people within the party. And we all know that the elites love to stroke their own. Anyway, Meghan's interested in politics more than anything else. That's where she believes her power is, but she had to focus on making money, the unnamed source is quoted to have said. Newsom has said he would avoid the field of candidates already campaigning for Feinstein's post, which will be on the ballot next year, which includes Representative Barbara Lee. Oh, dear Lord, no. One of the state's most prominent black women currently serving in elected office. In the hours after Feinstein's death, Newsom quickly faced calls to honor his commitment to name a black woman for the role, with some leaders calling on him specifically to name Lee to the post. A reminder of the fraught dynamic Newsom faces with a key Democrat constituency. For Newsom, any choice he makes risks alienating allies. Okay. Done with that. Screw this. Oh, my God. California, can we get better criminals? Can we just get better criminals in California, please? Why do these people need to do this? So if you're not familiar, over the past few days, we've been getting the usual boogeymanning over the the federal government budget. Congress being pressured to pass funding for the federal government, or otherwise our government's just going to shut down and our essential services will not be taken care of. The trash won't be picked up around the Capitol, and national parks will have locks on their doors. But Ukraine gets to keep their money. I mean, we'll continue to send money over to, pay for the salaries of Ukraine officials. I mean, we'll do that. But, we're not going to pay anybody here in the United States to pick up the trash and to run the national parks. No, we can't do that during a government shutdown. Anyway, so that fear-mongering over the government shutdown over several days was mostly centered around a rift in the Liberty Caucus of the Republican Party, trying to keep Speaker McCarthy to his word to limit spending to Ukraine, to limit other kinds of spending, and not essentially give the Democrats every single thing that they want. Apparently, a deal was reached at the witching hour. As always, a last-minute deal is reached at the witching hour, and the Senate was able to pass that and get a 45-day bill to avoid a government shutdown for 45 days. So that's where we're at. We now have 45 days to pass another bill. But coming out of this whole government shutdown, fear-mongering, and congressional madness, we have two important news stories that have kind of come out of the bigger story of the congressional shutdown, or the federal government shutdown vote in Congress. First off, we have this is out of Forbes. We have Representative Jamal Bowman, faces expulsion calls after he triggered the Capitol fire alarm before a crucial vote. Congressional Republicans are calling for an investigation and expulsion of Progressive Representative Jamal Bowman, who set off a fire alarm in the Capitol building ahead of a high stakes House vote on a stopgap measure to temporarily keep the federal government funded and avoid dreaded shutdown, according to multiple reports. As House Democrats complained, the 11th hour funding bill was thrown upon them with little time to thoroughly read it. You know, vote no. If you can't read the bill, vote no. If there's not time to read the bill, vote no. I mean, our Congress is just screwed. It's fucking screwed. Anyway, okay, so here's the key facts. We'll just read this key facts. I'm not gonna read the whole article. House Administration Committee Chair Brian Stiles said Bowman pulled the alarm in a post on X on Saturday afternoon, saying it happened in the Capitol's Cannon building and that the progressive representative is under investigation. Bowman, a second-term representative, has made headlines for calling out far-right representatives engaged in a screaming match with Marjorie Taylor Greene in May, has not responded to the reports. He has since responded. A spokesman for Bowman appeared to confirm the claim to Forbes, saying Bowman did not realize he would trigger a building alarm, was rushing to make the urgent vote, and he regrets any confusion. Greene called for the Department of Justice to prosecute Bowman in an interview with reporters on the Capitol steps Saturday afternoon, urging the department to use the same law they used to prosecute January 6 defendants for interfering with an official proceeding. Bowman also faces an expulsion resolution drafted by Representative Nicole Malliotakis. Wow, Nicole Malliotakis of New York, who called for his ousting from the House, while a pair of GOP representatives, Harriet Hageman of Wyoming and Lisa McClain of Michigan, are reportedly drafting resolutions to censure Bowman. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has also called on the House Ethics Committee to investigate the incident at a press conference Saturday afternoon. Okay, now it's important. Where did it go? It's important to get the words of the man himself. So let's check this out. This is from Congressman Bowman's own X account. This is a little statement here. Congressman Jamal Bowman has released the following statement. I want to personally clear up confusion surrounding today's events. Today, as I was rushing to make a vote, I came to a door that's usually open for votes, but that today would not open. I'm embarrassed to admit that I activated the fire alarm mistakenly thinking it would open the door. Pulled the fire alarm. Now, think of this in your head. Pulled the fire alarm thinking it would open the door. Wow. I regret this and sincerely apologize for any confusion this caused. But I want to be very clear. This was not me in any way trying to delay any vote. It was the exact opposite. I was trying urgently to get to the vote, which I ultimately did, and joined my colleagues in a bipartisan effort to keep our government open. I also met after the vote with the Sergeant at Arms and Capitol Police at their request, and it explained that it happened. My hope is that no one will make more of this than it was. Keep on trying. I'm working hard every day, including today, to do my job, do it well, and deliver for my constituents peace and love. Wow, Congressman Bowman. Okay, and so here I want to share a couple pictures here. This is Twitter here. Let's see. This is a picture of the door. There's the fire alarm. Now I want to. Can I zoom in here? No, I can't zoom in. Here, open image in new tab. Let's try this. Thank you, Miles Culture Plate audience, for bearing with me. Okay, so I want you to read what's going on here with this door. Emergency exit only. Push until alarm sounds. Door will unlock in 30 seconds. You see that? So push the door for 30 seconds until the alarm sounds, and then it will push until alarm sounds 3 seconds, and then hold it, and the door will unlock in 30 seconds. But instead, he came over here to the wall and pulled this alarm. And the internet is saying this is confusing. Now, if he's saying he was in a hurry, rush in, not trying to read. If I'm come across this emergency exit only sign, me being in a hurry is not an emergency. Me being in a hurry is not an emergency. I call bullshit. Now, here's what I will say. If he's in a hurry, like I'm an important congressman, I'm in too big of a hurry to stop for an emergency exit. I just want through the door. Like, I could kind of understand that, but this idea that you're too dumb to read the sign, or that you thought the fire alarm would unlock the door. Yeah, no. I mean, look, you don't pull a fire alarm. I mean, a fire alarm's a fire alarm. You just don't do that. Any rational adult knows not to pull a fire alarm. Like, it's not a door unlock. It says emergency exit only. And because you're a congressman, you don't fucking get to ignore the etiquette of a polite society just because you think you deserve to go through an emergency exit door. But again, as the article said, Democrats were complaining that they didn't get a chance to read the bill. Him pulling the fire alarm gave him a longer period of time to flip through the pages and know what they were voting on. Now, again, I 100% think our Congress should give its representation and their staff enough time to read the shit they're voting on. It's been one of my complaints for a decade. Since the Patriot Act. I've been ranting about giving our Congress critters and our media time to read the bill that's getting passed. But this idea that you can go around pulling fire alarms in the middle of a congressional vote? Yes, you should be investigated. And if found guilty, you should face the same punishment that our January 6th protesters have faced for their involvement on January 6th, for their interrupting a government procedure. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's not. I'm getting a little long-winded on some of this, so let me jump to the next news story real quick. Yeah, Hunsinger, UK. Wasn't this guy a teacher in his past? The teacher should know what a fire alarm does. Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if I were to take what he's saying in his statement at face value, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. And even giving him the benefit of the doubt, like, all adults know what a fire alarm does and knows not to touch it. But because he's a congressman, again, even giving him the benefit of the doubt, he's a congressman in a hurry. So he thinks the etiquette and rules of not pulling fire alarms doesn't apply to it. Anyway, so the next news story here. If you remember, how many of y'all remember the Loudoun County School District gender fluid individual who was being a predator to young girls in the bathroom at Loudoun County schools? Well, there has been sort of an update in the stories surrounding the Loudoun County stuff. Go ahead and share. This is once again from Fox News. Former Loudoun County Superintendent Scott Ziegler convicted of special ed teachers' retaliatory firing. Ziegler was fired as the head of Loudoun County Public Schools over how the district handled sexual assaults allegedly committed by the same student. Former school superintendent of Loudoun County, Virginia, was found guilty Friday for the retaliatory firing of a special education school teacher, a misdemeanor charge related to a larger scandal that engulfed the school district over how it handled a pair of sexual assaults. Ziegler was found not guilty of a lesser charge, punishing an employee for attending court. He faces up to a year in jail and is scheduled to be sentenced January 4th. Justice has finally been served in Loudoun County, Virginia Attorney General Jason Mayera said in a statement. Nearly 2 years ago, Loudoun County Public Schools and the Loudoun County School Board were thrown into the public spotlight for all the wrong reasons. And you see this other link here, Florida teacher and Disney employees among 219 arrested in human trafficking operation. That's an interesting story too. I wish I had time to cover it on this show, but unfortunately I don't. But anyway, so back to the story here. One of the casualties of the neglect and mismanagement led to the retaliatory firing of dedicated and caring school teacher, he added. Today, my office brought a measure of justice for Aaron Brooks. The Office of Attorney General will always be a voice for victims, and we're grateful for the jury's verdict. The case against Ziegler stemmed from Brooks' testimony before a special grand jury that was looking into how the district handled a pair of alleged sexual assaults committed by the same high school student in 2021. Ziegler decided not to renew Brooks' contract for the 2021-2022 school year despite her testimony, which did not directly relate to the sexual assaults. WTOP TV reported. She reportedly testified about a 10-year-old student who allegedly groped her. The grand jury issued a report in December and Ziegler was fired. Fox News Digital has reached out to the school district. Let's see. Okay, this kind of gives a little recap of district drew national attention after a father accused it at a June 2021 school board meeting of covering up his daughter's sexual assault. Student transferred to another school in the school district, assaulted another girl, faced charges in both cases. The father alleged the district had attempted to cover up his daughter's assault to advance its transgender policy, which has been subject to parental protests. At that school board meeting, Ziegler said that the predator transgender student or person simply does not exist, and we don't have any records of assaults occurring in our restrooms. However, an email dated May 28, 2021, same day as the assault, the superintendent alerted school board members that an assault had been reported. The special grand report said the district was looking out for its own interests instead of students, and that the school district failed at every juncture. Ziegler still faces a misdemeanor charge for statements he made at the board meeting. So, yeah, here we have a little bit of justice, just a little bit of justice for these corrupt public officials, school superintendents who just look the other way while students are being raped. Okay, one more news story, maybe two. Yeah, one more news story, and then we'll get into the drama. YouTube prank gone wrong that left a man shot, sent mall into panic, heads to court. So let's
put your hands up. Get on your face. Get out of the way.
You can't steal here from the source. I'm not trying to steal.
Okay, I don't want to watch this whole video. Okay, the video of the shooting is all over Twitter. Screw it. The internet is blowing up over a bizarre YouTube prank gone wrong that ended in court after a delivery driver shot a YouTuber. In April, YouTube prankster Tanner Cook, who runs the Classified Goons channel, was shot by 31-year-old Alan Coley, a DoorDash delivery driver in a shopping mall in Washington, Virginia. The incident occurred after Cook harassed Coley in a food court at the Dulles Town Center Mall as he picked up a food order, following him around while playing bizarre audio from his phone. The phone plays the phrase, "Hey dipshit, quit thinking about my Twinkie," multiple times using a Google Translate app. Coley backs away from Cook, telling him to stop 3 times and trying to knock the phone away from his face before pulling out a gun and shooting Cook in the lower left chest. Blam-a-blam-a-blam! Hang on. Let me bring this up.
Quit thinking about my twinkle.
What's that?
Quit thinking about my twinkle.
No.
Quit thinking about my
Get
twinkle.
out of my face and call cops on me. Stop.
He's telling him stop, get out of his face. He's knocking the phone away, and yet, ooh, did you see it? Ooh, did you see that? Now, again, for YouTube, I am not glorifying violence whatsoever. I'm just commenting on a news story. Blamma, blamma, blamma. No, I'm not glorifying violence, but in fact, I'm issuing a warning to people out there. Yeah, don't shoot people in malls, and don't harass people in malls. Anyway, so let's go back to the story here. He gives a little commentary here. There's the video. The shooting started a panic. Last week, a jury found Coley not guilty of aggregated malicious wounding, siding with his claim that he acted in self-defense. So the jury found him not guilty of self-defense. Hunsinger UK says it almost looked like he was trying for the Biden advice. Aim for the leg, man. Yeah. Social media came out in support of Coley, who has a license to carry a concealed weapon, blasting Cook for harassing a stranger. Coley's defense lawyer, Adam Polliard, said his client felt menaced by the 6'4" Cook during the confrontation, which was designed to provoke a reaction to draw viewers to his YouTube channel. Polliard said that by pulling such stunts, Cook is trying to confuse people to post videos. He's not worried that he's scaring people. He keeps doing this. However, prosecutor Eden Holmes argued that Coley's shooting of Cook didn't meet the conditions of self-defense, and that prank was bizarre, not threatening. Now, you want my opinion? Don't shoot people in a mall like that. A phone is not a deadly threat, right? The guy was just holding a phone near the guy's head. I mean, I could see how him being menacing could be considered a threat, but you can't always rely on a jury to share that opinion. This time it worked. Cook said he earns $2,000 to $3,000 a month from the channel. Wow. Now, from what I understand, this article doesn't mention it, but from what I understand, he's in jail right now. He was actually found guilty of discharging a firearm indoors or something. Like, he's not completely innocent, but on the important part, the harming another individual, like that, he was found not guilty of. So he's not necessarily a free man, but they didn't throw the damn book at him, and the jury gave him a little bit of a reprieve. Okay, so last thing I want to talk about. I know I said the last thing was the last thing, but let me just address one other drama before the drama. Here's something that's been going around the Twitter, and I just wanted to address this real quick because I no longer have my little flashing thing, the gender crazy of the week. And I don't know that this is gender crazy, but this would be part of the gender crazy of the week segment if I was still doing it. Dear everyone, please stop saying, hey guys, in emails, seminars, when addressing people, and in opening speaker programs. Hi folks, check mark. It's perfect, it's inclusive, and gender neutral. Thanks, hashtag tips. And do not contact this Linda Cooganby, but look, dude, we're all dudes. He's a dude, she's a dude. We're all dudes, right? Hey guys is a gender neutral term. It literally is a gender neutral term. Because your friend who likes to wear dresses feels icky about his penis when someone says, hey guys. Yeah, that's not the responsibility of the rest of society to coddle that person. And yeah, this person's rightly getting dragged by the internet for this horrible take. Hunsinger UK says, imagine being the recipient of that DoorDash meal. Blame him. Okay, so now let's get into the main topic of the show. Why don't we? So this was sort of the end of the drama. Once you're ready, we'll chat privately and get it settled. Cooler heads will prevail, and I wish no ill will on Nick. There's nothing additionally I take exception to that we can't resolve by hashing it out. This doesn't need to be a show. As I've had a lot of respect for you. I'm no saint either, and I've had no desire to go after you. Let's get it situated and in the J shit. So, there's an issue, right? The issue is that internet drama, particularly internet drama with involving people who have large followings, can be very profitable, right? I made a joke in the chat the other day that, like, I wouldn't put this past Ripa and Masterson to have all worked this out behind the scenes as a scheme to make money, because their followers, both of their followers, are just super chat. Nick's followers are super chat. Like, they're raking in tons of money off this. And I'm sure Eric's selling a ton of comics. Like, I kind of call it the quartering effect. Like, when the quartering, the first time he made a video saying my channel is under attack, and people swarmed around him, rightly so, swarmed around him to offer him support, to give him money, give him donation. And now he kind of does it just about every 5-6 months. Again, that was a joke though. Like, I honestly don't think that Masterson and Eric July are secretly business partners agreeing to make each other money by creating BS internet drama. However, it is very incentivizing to continue. I mean, like, all of this was started by Vito, and it definitely draws eyes to everybody's product. But I kind of wanted to throw something out there. Look, Dick Masterson, I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily with the type of content Dick Masterson produces on a moral level, or on a I can't even say moral level, because I do think there is a moral obligation to not just be hateful all the time. And this is the thing, is Eric July would use the word haters. And I'm not trying to take sides here, and I'm not trying to shit on Dick here. But there is a certain corner of the internet where a lot of people make a lot of content where it's all about everything they dislike, everything they hate, why everyone else is a dipshit, why everyone else's take is completely wrong. And look, I fall into that category somewhat. I try to at least have some content where I try to get humorous. I try to tell people things I like. I try to tell people philosophies that I support. It's not all, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. This person's a dumbass. This person's a dumbass. This person's a dipshit. Like, I try not to fall into the trap of that type of content. I try my damnedest. In fact, I try to call out that content when I think it's went too far. You know, when it was Kiwi Farms going after Nick Rekieta, I think it went too far. I think they're definitely... I went too far when I went after clip shows for going too far. So, you know, it's the internet is a weird place where drama is very profitable. And so these people that make these channels that do nothing but negative content, vomiting over everyone else's bag, you know, trying to pick apart and find something wrong with everything everyone else does. And look, I follow a lot of these channels. But I would say that there's a balance, right? I follow Nerdrotic, right? And Friday Night Tights, they do a lot of shitting on people and shitting on movies and TV shows and talk about how just bad it is, how badly written the shit is, how it's all woke SJW crap. But when they watch a good movie, when they watch a good TV show, when they've played a good game, they'll admit it. They'll talk about it. They'll say, "Hey man, this was awesome. They've been promoting this One Piece. I don't have Netflix. I'm not going to subscribe to Pedoflix. But they've been promoting One Piece like crazy, you know, on the Friday Night Tights channel." So find something you like. Don't just try to tear people down. And this is part of the drama I wanted to address. Part of the narrative I wanted to address. Is Nick Rekieta, I think part of the meat of the disagreement between Rekieta and Eric July is when Eric July used the phrase more objective. Now, Nick took this to mean, well, that means I'm not completely 100% in the middle neutral, and I've tried to be completely 100% in the middle neutral. You got to understand, and again, let me offer a disclaimer. I hate guilt by association bullshit. I think guilt by association bullshit is exactly that, bullshit. I think it's a bullshit argument tactic that people make. I think, you know, we are supposed to have somewhat of a freedom of association. To give a little backstory on myself and what I think about guilt by association, you know, back when I was an activist, we had a protest in Kansas City in front of the IRS building about taxes. You know, we were protesting high taxes. You know, we wanted to see, you know, an audit of the Federal Reserve and the IRS brought under scrutiny, because that was around the time during the Obama administration when it was revealed that they were targeting conservatives with the IRS. And so we're protesting taxes, and a young gentleman shows up with a giant sign that said, "Deport Muslims." Not the message, not what we're here for. You know, he's like, well, but it's, it's kind of like an America First type of thing. No. We're not doing that. We're not here about immigration. We're not here about terrorism. We're here about taxes. And of course, when the news media showed up, who do you think their cameras were pointed at? You guessed it. The Deport Muslims guy. The Deport Muslims guy got to be the voice of my organization. That was my message, according to the local news. Now, this situation with Eric and Dick and Nick, again, I hate guilt by association. However, when part of the argument is there was no real communication between Nick and Eric leading up to the Spurg streams, and yet Dick was on Nick's channel making jokes about Eric several times. It's kind of like that wasn't the news media pointing the camera at the protester saying the outrageous message that you don't support. That was your cameras. And I'm not trying to be super critical of Nick Rekieta. All I'm saying is I could see how, from Eric July's perspective, that neutral isn't neutral. Neutral starts from an assumption that nobody's wrong. Neutral starts from an assumption that everyone's cool. And if Nick himself admits that Dick was being a dick, Dick was being an asshole, Dick was trying to poke the bear, right? Dick was being a negative Nancy, trying to dig for things. Nick admits that. Vito, Dick, both being hypercritical of Eric when maybe they didn't need to be. And again, I'm not trying to take sides there either. Maybe they had justification to do it, but they weren't previous Ripaverse customers who were somehow slighted, right? Fair enough. But fair enough. They didn't do anything wrong. But I wanted to kind of address this idea of neutral is neutral. Well, neutral isn't exactly neutral when one side perceives neutral to not be neutral because neutral means being okay with what the other side's doing. Now, I think countries like the United States, it'd be nice if we would stay the fuck out of some of these global wars. But you see, we get this propaganda that says if the United States is neutral when Putin invades Ukraine, if we're friends with Putin and friends with Ukraine, that's not a neutral position. That being friends with Putin while he's invading Ukraine is not a neutral position. Again, I hate the fucking Ukraine war too. I'm not a fan of Putin. I'm definitely not a fan of Zelensky. I'm definitely not a fan of all my fucking tax money going over there when my government is threatening to be shut down. But the bigger picture is, don't be an ass. Don't be an ass. And look, there are things that happen on the internet, excuses are given, and you can accept those excuses and move on and try to find something else to talk about, or you can hammer one person and just continue to harass them. And again, this is not necessarily trying to be a takedown of Dick Masterson. I think a lot of Dick Masterson's content is funny. It's meant to be humorous. It's meant to be a troll. But ultimately, I mean, I want to see the guy be happier, right? Ultimately, I want to see Eric July be happier. Ultimately, I want to see Nick Rekieta be happy. I mean, the guy does angry, drunken rants until he's, fucking playing his piss song every 10 minutes. I want to see these guys in great moods, happy, being successful, doing business, and not being successful doing business, doing drama streams and cope streams and makeup. But this, again, these rants aren't about Dick, Nick, Vito, and Eric July. My criticism is more of you, the audience. When you or I start cheerleading for someone who maybe made a mistake on the internet, or maybe spoke too much about their private business, or spoke too much on the internet about their public business, and we want to ridicule them. Maybe they deserve a little ridicule. But when you see like a mass of online communities, and don't get me into the whole online hate mob, death threat bullshit. I don't buy it. If you truly fear for your life, you're not going to cry to the internet about it. You're going to go to the cops. But it's a very real thing. Creating a wave of negativity and focusing at a person is definitely not a fucking cool thing. And we, the audience, getting wrapped up in that, trying to fucking take a person down, trying to cheerlead for a person's failure. It's one thing if that person's a genuine fucking like child predator. But I mean, Eric July kind of just wants to sell comic books. And look, full disclaimer, I've said 3 times that I wanted to buy Isom, and I just fucking missed the boat. And now I'm not jumping in on the second comic when I missed the first comic. So, I said I was going to do it. I didn't do it. So that's me admitting that I didn't do what I said. And yeah, there's still things being said on Twitter. Apparently it's not, the beef has not been settled, allegedly. Real quick, 2 things I want to do is again, I want to apologize one more time for this show being a day late. As you folks know, that I've been, Nick Rekieta's fat shaming stuff is starting to work on me. I'm on a diet, trying to get more exercise in, and yeah, we had a family day out to where we all got a bunch of exercise and spent a lot of time walking around, and it was much needed. And I'm sorry that my audience had to take a back seat to that, but sometimes life presents opportunities that you can't pass up, and that was sort of what was going on there. But we're hopefully going to be back on schedule for a while. I really hate doing shows on Sunday nights because my time slot here kind of conflicts. It kind of overlaps with Viva and Barnes. So I do want to give a shout out to Viva and Barnes. If you've watched this, or, catch theirs on the replay or vice versa, hopefully try to watch both of us, both programs. That's what I would be doing right now if I weren't doing this. I'd be watching the Viva Barnes Law Show. It's also, I think it's Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Central. At least that's what it looked like. It looked like they'd been going for about an hour right before I went live. Let's see. Oh man, there were like 2 other things I wanted to talk about regarding other streamers, but I'm gonna refrain today because again, as much as I didn't want to get into the drama and take sides, I feel like I once again have not been neutral. I'm trying not to be too critical, but again, I'm attacking more the concepts. I'm attacking the philosophy. I'm attacking the online behavior, not the people. I think the people had good motives. I think their hearts are all in the right place to some degree. I just think, again, I want to see people succeed. I'm not trying to bring anybody down unless they're pervert, corrupt, or part of the federal government. And trust me, when I mean the federal government, I mean the corrupt aspects of the federal government. So yeah, please don't send the feds after me for that comment. But anyway, you can catch me right back here Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central, right here on Mild's Culture Plate, rumble.com/mild/live, youtube.com/@themildworld, and on X @themildworld. I definitely am going to continue trying to stream to all 3. Oh, look, Kevin and ABQ is here. Cheers, brother. Welcome. And you know what? I don't think anyone's gonna come in and say hi in the YouTube chat. So I'm gonna cheers myself and try to finish this here. I'll save a little sip just in case. Anyway, as always, if you could take just a moment, if you haven't done so, click that like button, click that follow button. Follow me on the social media down in the description of this program. And share this off platform if you can. It really helps with the algorithm when you do that. I'm not sure what Wednesday's show is going to be like. Barring some more strange news, I might get into some of the news stories I skipped today. I might start creating more online drama where I'm calling out these aggressive content creators. But no, I'm always willing to talk about whatever topics you want to talk about. Feel free to let me know down in the comments or over on X what kind of interesting stories you think I could cover on my program. I mean, even if you don't source me articles or want my opinion on something, I definitely will find something. So I'm not trying to outsource my work to you, but definitely open to being flexible to any fans of my show. So feel free to leave comments and feel free to chit chat with me. I'm also potentially thinking about doing a call-in show. Let me know what you think about that idea. I tried the whole thing with using spaces on X. That really didn't reach much of an interest with people, but now that I have StreamYard, I can invite people on and kind of do it that way. I probably won't show camera because that just invites people to stand up and show their penis, but I'm definitely willing to have people on here. So that might be a future program. So please stay tuned right here to Mild's Culture Plate. I will catch you next time. Till then, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Outlast the haters. Don't get any on you. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. Until next time, see ya. Peace.